Alright YouTube, so last night I saw Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire for its 20th year anniversary re-release in the theaters, and I remember this being my favorite Harry Potter movie as a kid and as an adult and as every stage of my life, to be honest, and this definitely was just as good as I remembered. I remember the first opening scene was super eerie and really set the movie up well, as it was like a dream vision of Harry's about the return of Lord Voldemort, which happens towards the end of the movie, and there's a duel, and Cedric Diggory, who's a new character introduced, that's one of the Hogwarts champions in the tournament. He ends up dying, and that was a really sad death scene, but I'm going to rewind and go back to the beginning of the movie and talk a little bit more about sequences and scenes I enjoyed and my opinions and how I felt this movie went. So it definitely feels like a lot darker and more mature, not super dark, but darker than the first three, especially the first two Harry Potter movies, and I feel like this is the point when the series kind of gets more mature, because even though the characters are 14, it still seems like, that they're a lot more grown up, or because a lot of the characters are grown up. I realize that it's just Harry and his friends who are young, but the new characters they introduce are super cool from the schools, such as the Quidditch champion Victor Crumb from the all-boys school and Fleur Decoy from the all-girls school. I'm blanking on what those schools were called. I'm sorry, I know that's a little embarrassing as I saw the movie last night, but forgive me as I haven't read the book in a while either. But unlike The Prisoner of Azkaban, I saw the movie before reading the book, so I wasn't able to experience the magic to the fullest as a kid, but I enjoyed both of them very thoroughly. And there are no Quidditch matches in this game, or in this movie rather, but even better, there's a dragon scene, which something I will admit, as much as I love this movie, I do kind of wish we saw the other Hogwarts champions, Cedric Diggory and Victor Crumb and Fleur, face their dragons instead of just Harry, but I guess they had to do it to save runtime. But maybe if they introduce the HBO series, they'll include that as well as more lore, as there's more room to work with. But it's definitely a super awesome sequence, seeing Harry face the challenge of his dragon, and love that scene. And there's also a big plot twist where the professor of the dark arts, Mad-Eye Moody, turns out to not actually be Mad-Eye Moody, but rather one of Lord Voldemort's followers, impersonating him with a polyjuice potion, which is for those of you who don't know, most of you probably know, but it's like a potion that turns you into another person, or disguises you as another person using like a piece of their hair in the potion. So that was definitely interesting to see. But Mad-Eye Moody had a lot of interesting scenes, or should I say Mad-Eye Moody, such as his class, was super interesting, as he taught the kids the 3 unforgivable curses, which are one that I'm all forgetting, but one of them is impersonating, torture, and of course the killing curse, which he shows all of them on a little spider, and that's definitely a fun scene to watch, because it was fun seeing him toss the spider around at the kids. And one of my favorite scenes of him is when he turns Malfoy into a ferret, because Malfoy was being a jerk, and that was fun to see him get some karma for that. But he does later become a more interesting character, especially in the 6th movie, which I'll talk about when I review the other movies. And I remember Robert Pattinson playing Cedric Diggory, who's a super cool character. I really liked him because I found him relatable with his Hufflepuff house, and that was actually the house I got sorted into whenever I took any quizzes online, both now and as a kid. But the maze scene is super suspenseful, where Harry almost succumbs to the darkness and leaves Cedric to get pulled in by the roots, but he ends up saving Cedric, and the two go into the championship trophy, and it turns out to be a port key to the graveyard that was mentioned at the beginning of this movie, where Lord Voldemort is returning. And unfortunately that's when Cedric Diggory dies, and then Voldemort comes back, and that's like all pretty much the kickstart of this movie, because although Voldemort was sort of in the first movie, he wasn't really in the second, and definitely not in the third. So that's definitely where I realized the series gets more mature and dark. So definitely 2 thumbs up for this movie. If you have the opportunity to see it for its 20th year anniversary, go see it in the theater. Thank you all so much for watching. I love this movie. Stay tuned for more soon. Goodbye.